Hey, what is up, Mr. MreGamersSports fans? It is Smokie once again, back, bringing you episode number 2 to UFC Gold, or actually, I messed that up, Road to UFC Gold, and, you know, a lot of stuff has happened, it is Mother's Day today. You know, I spent an awesome day. I hope all of you guys, took your mom out to eat, and did all the good stuff with your mom, and put a nice smile to your mom, because moms are definitely very important in this world. So enough of that. I really want to take this episode and talk about UFC on Fox 3 Diaz versus Miller results. It was a very awesome and a very shocking event. There was a lot of fights where I thought the one fighter was going to take over, but it actually went the other way, and it was crazy. But let's get down to it. I know, what was it? Dennis Bermudez versus Pablo Garza, or Garza, should I say? Sorry about that. That was a very crazy match. Pablo Garza is a very sick jiu-jitsu guy, but for some reason Dennis Bermudez used his wrestling, which really shocked me. I mean, I really didn't know Bermudez was that good of a wrestler to just be able to stop someone's ground game and just sit there and pretty much John Fitch him. And if you guys are new to the UFC, John Fitching is pretty much, a wrestling-based fighter that pretty much just takes you down and just keeps you. And I mean, he can stay in the guard and just sit there and just kind of pound you little by little and pretty much irk out a unanimous decision. And Dennis Bermudez did it in a very, very crazy fashion where he just dominated Pablo Garza. I mean, Garza tried to, throw his legs up and try to get a triangle or an armbar submission, but it just was not happening. I mean, Dennis Bermudez kept slamming him down and just keeping him on the ground and just pounding on him and wearing him out. And he definitely took that round, and I was just like, wow, man. It was definitely a very, very strong unanimous decision for Dennis Bermudez. I can really see this guy being a really pretty well, I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun and say, oh, he's going to be a top contender, but he's definitely going to be a really interesting fighter. So watch out for Dennis Bermudez. So I'm going to another fight, and I'm not going to go in every fight either. I'm just going to go out for all the main fights that I liked and the fights that were very interesting in this card. So I know the Louis Gaudinot versus John Liker, that actually was a pretty crazy fight. That was like the third fight of the flyweights, and they really performed awesome. And Louis Gaudinot came out with an awesome guillotine submission where pretty much John had him in the cage, and he was about to slam him when Louis kind of hopped up and just grabbed his neck and pretty much got a nice, awesome standing guillotine submission. It was really good. And I don't know if you guys watch The Ultimate Fighter. I'm a huge fan. I watch it all the time. And Louis Gaudinot was on the last season and he lost, but always on those shows they always give the fighters a second chance, and he definitely came in with a nice, awesome submission on the second round. So the next fight was John Hathaway versus Pascual Carras. John Hathaway pretty much dominated that whole fight. I'm not really sure why they put John Hathaway with some, I mean, I'm not gonna bash on the guy, but Pascual, I mean, John Hathaway is a really good fighter. I'm really thinking people are really overlooking this kid, man. John Hathaway is really good, and especially in the welterweight division, which is one of the most crazy stacked divisions. And John Hathaway is really good. I would like to see John Hathaway versus Rory McDonald. That would be an awesome match. You know, come on, Dana, get that on the road. Or actually, I shouldn't even say Dana. I should say Joe Silva, the matchmaker. But anyway, on to the next fight. John Dodson versus Tim Elliott. An awesome match. It went all 3 rounds, but it was a really good match. You know, Tim Elliott is a very unorthodox, crazy, wild guy, and I really like his style. I mean, it's very interesting style, and John Dodson has been dominating everyone. You know, he was on the last Ultimate Fighter and won it, and he was just destroying everyone, but he really didn't look that good against Tim Elliott because, you know, Tim Elliott had this crazy style. He was throwing wild cartwheel kicks, and he was just going for crazy stuff, and even for John Dodson, it was just really crazy, and he also actually broke his, I believe, his right hand, so John Dodson's going to be out for a while, but he did win by unanimous decision, which I think it should have been somewhat of a split decision, because, I mean, Tim Elliott was pushing the pace the whole fight, and just, you know, throwing crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, even with Dodson's blazing speed and power, you know, Tim Elliott has a really good chin, and he's very unorthodox, and I'm pretty sure the UFC is going to keep him in, so, which I'm glad, because Tim Elliott really showed that he's an awesome, cool, interesting fighter. So on for the next fight was Tony Ferguson versus Michael Johnson. This was one of those upsets where I was just like, whoa, man. I mean, Tony Ferguson looks like a beast. I mean, he's been KOing everybody, and I don't know where Michael Johnson has been coming up as well. You know, he didn't win the Ultimate Fighter like Tony Ferguson. He was actually in the final fight and lost, but I mean, the way Michael Johnson dominated Tony Ferguson was crazy, and he didn't even like take him down or nothing. I mean, Michael Johnson was right in Tony Ferguson's, you know, real good tool in stand-up, and it pretty much all came down to Michael Johnson's footwork was just way better. I mean, Tony Ferguson was just kind of sitting there trying to, you know, hit that huge, you know, overhand right punch, you know, trying to knock him out, but just wasn't working because Michael Johnson had such good footwork that he was just, you know, going back and forth, like, you know, dodging and moving away from his power, and he was just moving in, picking them apart with his shots and moving out. It was really good, and I was definitely impressed with Michael Johnson's performance, and you know, I'm ready to see this kid Michael Johnson fight more. I'm guessing the Blackzilian camp is really improving and helping Michael Johnson, because he just took out Tony Ferguson, which was like 3-0 now in the UFC, and he just took him out. I was just like, wow. That was crazy. But anyway, the next fight was the heavyweight fight, which I was really pumped for this fight, and it definitely delivered on what I was, you know, thinking what was going to happen. Pat Barry versus LeVar Johnson. That was a sick fight. I mean, you know, first of all, Pat Barry and LeVar, they touch gloves. They kind of, you know, start feeling each other out. And then out of nowhere, Pat Barry, you know, started, you know, trying to wail up on LeVar Johnson. LeVar Johnson, you know, weathered the storm, kind of, you know, took a couple leg kicks that were really starting to hurt. I mean, if Pat Barry tried to keep away from LeVar Johnson more and kept on with the leg kicks, Pat Barry probably would have won, but you know, things didn't go Pat Barry's way, and LeVar Johnson came in, got in close, bum rushed him, pushed him up to the cage, and just started wailing on him and caught Pat Barry with some vicious uppercuts, which he knocked out Joey Beltran, his previous opponent, with vicious uppercuts. And then after he pretty much stunned Pat Barry, he just went off and he pretty much destroyed Pat Barry. Wow. We definitely have another crazy, top heavyweight contender here, folks. I mean, LeVar Johnson's looking really good. I mean, the only thing is Pat Barry did take LeVar Johnson down, and it kind of seemed like LeVar Johnson didn't know too much about the ground game, but he did pop back up after a while. So we just have to test that out and see if his ground game's any good. But I'm pretty sure he's training on it. He is a veteran. He's had many professional fights, so LeVar Johnson's gonna look awesome. So anyways, another fight that was crazy was Paul Harris versus Alan Belcher. I mean, it was just so crazy the way Alan Belcher just took Paul Harris down. He weathered the storm with the leg locks and then ended it with an awesome, crazy ground and pound. Alan Belcher's crazy, and just enough said with Belcher. I mean, he just destroyed Paul Harris, like, wow, even better than Dan Henderson. So, and for the main event, Nate Diaz, Jim Miller, another crazy, like, I never knew this was going to happen, but Nate Diaz picked him apart in the stand-up, rocked him good enough, and submitted him with a sick guillotine where Jim Miller's tongue was hanging out, and Jim Miller was biting on his own tongue. I mean, Jim Miller tapped out by submission in the second round, and it was crazy. I mean, Nate Diaz, I'm thinking he's going to be champion soon enough. So, I'm